So we got the LA Rams, who are the 6th seed, finished the season at 10-6, at the Seattle Seahawks at the 3 seed, who finished the season 12-4. This game will be played on Fox, 1:40 LA time, and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be on the call, depending on if there's, I guess, another COVID thing, because not only was the Rams and Cardinals game a battle of the backups, Strevler versus Wolford, we had the backup quarterback in the booth. We had to Tony Romo had, we had to bring in the backup quarterback in the booth. Boomer Esiason came in. Tony Romo couldn't make it. Let's take a look at some game notes in this one and some injuries. I did not get the latest injury update. It's the 6th today, but I'm recording a little bit too early to see the injury report, so I do apologize about that. But we'll talk about what yesterday's injury report looked like. That is the best I got for you guys right now, because I'm not just going to sit around and twiddle my thumbs and wait for an injury report to come out when we have so many awesome things to talk about. All right, so this is the second chance. How many times have we seen the Rams play in a game where over the last 2 years where you're just like, dang it, I want that one back. I want to try that again. Not even just this year. Last year we had a bunch of them too. I'm thinking, Jets, Dolphins are just a couple of examples this year. Both games against the Niners, you're just like, we're better than that. You know what I mean? And we get that. We finally get a shot at one of these types of games, and I cannot wait to see how this squad responds to that. Aaron Donald came out, when the reporter's telling him you're going to Seattle. He's like, that's who we wanted. I felt it. I was like, yes, let's get it, man. And honestly, if we're having a battle of who's going to try harder, I'm going Aaron Donald every time on that battle. Let's see here. Just some other notes. Russell Wilson is 7-10 versus the Rams all time, 2-5 versus Sean McVay. The second playoff meeting between the two, the Rams have won 27-20. The second playoff meeting. Okay, I confused myself with my notes there. The Rams won that game 27-20. That's defeating the Seahawks 3 times that season. That was back in 2004 season, and then got smacked by the Falcons the very following week, 17-47. And I remember that game so vividly. I remember wearing my jersey. I was sitting at home by myself, and I had the game on TV. My dad comes home, and he starts laughing at me because I'm like, in my jersey. It's 2005. It's like, Dad, obviously I'm in my jersey down 14. You know what I mean? And so I remember the Falcons went down and scored. And then I remember the Rams got like a long touchdown, and I was like, this is going to be a game. And then it just got away. So it happens. All right, so Sean McVay, 2-2 in the postseason all-time, losses to Atlanta and New England, and has defeated the Dallas Cowboys and New Orleans Saints. McVay is 5-3 all-time against the Seattle Seahawks, 2-2 at Seattle, though. Sean McVay is not announcing the starting quarterback before kickoff. It is big brain time, all right? So he straight up was like, I'm not answering this question this week. Who's starting at quarterback? I'm not answering that. I kind of like it. I think it's going to be Jared Goff. If I had to guess, I would say it's going to be Jared Goff. But also, big brain time. Who knows? John Wolford only has one career start, and I think at the very, very minimum, you at least force the Seahawks to look at that game and try to get out some of his tendencies if he is going to be the guy. You at least make them do that. And so I'm all about this. I'm here for it. To keep that a secret, I'm about that life for sure. Let's see here. The Rams defense first in points, 4th time in team history, 75, 74, and 67. Those were some very strong Rams defenses in those years, though. Rams defense first in yards for the 4th time in team history, 78, 73, and 68. You know what that means. You guys can do some math at home. I know I didn't put these numbers up, but those numbers are all different. That means this is the first time in team history that the Rams defense is first in points and yards, both. That is awesome. That is awesome. This is maybe the best defense that we've ever seen with the LA Rams. And that's pretty exciting stuff going into the playoffs. Defense wins championships. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. Let's take a look at some injuries in this game. We'll start with the LA Rams. Players who did not participate in practice on Tuesday, which counts as the Wednesday practice. Aaron Donald, Veterans Day off. David Edwards with an ankle injury, but we could get Andrew Whitworth back in this one. Limited participants, we have Joseph Noteboom, Micah Kaiser, Jared Goff, Natrez Patrick, and Cam Akers. That's it. That's your injury report for the LA Rams. Of course, it is a little bit longer for just about every team, honestly. But we do see some names on that Noteboom, I feel good about. Kaiser should be back this week. I know Witt hasn't been officially activated yet. That's why he's not actually on this list. Jared Goff could go. We'll see about Natrez Patrick. Cam Akers will probably go as well. So let's go to the Seattle Seahawks players who did not participate in practice on Tuesday, which counts as Wednesday practice. Jaron Reed, that defensive tackle there, he did a great job 2 weeks ago against the LA Rams. So I'm not super sad to see that. I don't root for injuries, but hey, if it helps the Rams, I'm not going to complain. Chris Carson, the running back, he did not participate. Tackle Dwayne Brown. Cornerback Jason Stanley, and safety Jamal Adams, who is, I think, technically going to be listed as questionable, but they asked him if he's going to play, and he said absolutely. He's good to go. That's what he's saying. But of course, he did suffer that injury last week against the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see how strong he is. Maybe if he's not hitting so hard, maybe we can get a couple more broken tackles out of Jamal Adams this week. If he does play, we'll see what happens. Limited participant guard Mike Iupati and running back DJ Dallas. That is your injury report. Let me actually just pull up real quick and see if I do have an updated one in front of me here. Just because I don't want to give you guys, I want to be able to give you guys all the best information. And if I can pull it up, then I will absolutely do it. So no, there is no updates yet. Actually, we did get the Seahawks updates. Did not participate. Defensive tackle Brian Monet and cornerback Jason Stanley did not participate as well. Everybody else, at least back in a limited capacity, don't have the Rams updates for you guys. Let's take a look at the matchup. We'll start with the Rams offense on this one. The Rams dropped down to 15th in total offense. Were top 10 last week, but the Seattle Seahawks 23rd total. One of the worst pass defenses in the NFL for the Seattle Seahawks. They are 31st. Rams ranking 13th. Did take that's about in line for what Wolf did last week. Running the ball, Rams still top 10, 126. And then the Seahawks are 5th against the run. But again, I said this 2 weeks ago, it's because teams are throwing the football on them. You don't necessarily need to only attack the ground game against the Seahawks. I do believe those numbers are just a touch inflated. And then points per game, the Rams putting up just over 23. And the Seahawks giving up just over 23. So if the Rams put up 23 points, that would not blow anybody's mind. The best matchup I have in this one is the Rams offensive line versus the Seahawks front. And that is because the Rams did give up 3 sacks each game against the Seattle Seahawks, but it impacted Goff pretty bad in the Week 16 matchup there with those 3 sacks. So that's something we would love to avoid. Witt could be back in this one, though, so I think that could be a huge addition. I have been kind of notorious for saying that Andrew Whitworth he's an old man. You know, can he withstand the whole season? Well, he didn't need to. It's unfortunate that he got hurt, and you want to make sure that he can come back good off of that injury. But at the same time, I mean, Witt is such a good, strong veteran presence. And the Rams offensive line, as strong as it looked when Witt first went down, it kind of looked like other teams were starting to figure it out a little bit, or at least kind of maybe get some guys' tendencies. And so Witt going down, at first it was fine. And then it kind of looked like, okay, maybe it's not incredible that he's down right now. But hey, we could get him back this week, which would be awesome. I'm fully expecting him back this week. That's why I keep saying that. Jaron Reed had 2 sacks from the middle against the LA Rams last time. But of course, Witt coming back, which would mean Noteboom would slide back into guard. That really could make the difference in that game, in this matchup at least, if Jaron Reed does in fact play. Jared Goff was blitzed less often this season, but his pressure percentage went up a full % from a year ago, still down from 2018, though. Jared Goff's bad throw percentage, according to Pro Football Reference, went down from 20.2% in 2019 to 16.2% in 2020, which puts his on-target percentage up from last season, but with 74 less attempts on the year. So that does get taken into consideration, but that all factors into pressure on Jared Goff, which takes us back to that offensive line versus the Seahawks front for our matchup of that situation here. Let's go to the other side of the football. Rams defense does rank 1st overall. The Seahawks offense is 12th. First against the pass, the Seahawks 16th. So, sitting middle of the road there. The Rams are 3rd against the run. That's where the Seahawks do a little bit more damage, 123 on the ground per game there. And the Seahawks are putting up over 28 points a game, but the Rams giving up 18.5, which is best in the NFL. The best matchup I have in this one is Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf and Aaron Donald versus that Seahawks front. So first of all, Ramsey on DK. In 2 games, gave up 1 catch for 11 yards in man-to-man coverage against DK Metcalf. That is insane. And if you add up all the yards, not just when Jalen Ramsey was on DK Metcalf, who's known, by the way, this is the reason I talk about this, as one of the most explosive wide receivers in the NFL today. So that's why I even say this. But if you add up the games, the first game and second game of DK Metcalf against the Rams, not even 100 yards total there. So the Rams secondary, we know, is very, very strong and very, very awesome and very fun to watch. But this matchup is going to be insane again. I'm really excited to see this one more time. But again, just in man-to-man coverage in both games, 1 catch, 11 yards. I'll take that. Aaron Donald said after the Cardinals game that he wanted the Seattle Seahawks. But you know what? They heard that too. They heard that, and they're going to want to stop him. But when it's a battle of who brings it on the effort level, my money goes on to Aaron Donald just about every time. Take a look at some storylines to watch in this one. The Rams have lost the last 2 games in Seattle, but by a combined 12 points. Of course, we did lose this game just 2 weeks ago by 11, and then there was a 1-point loss in 2019 where Greg Zuerlein missed a field goal as time expired to lose the game. Rams would have won by 2 if you would have made that, but have lost the last 2, combined 12 points. So that's really good. These games are very close. So the Rams and Seahawks games have been extremely close. In fact, the 11-point game in Week 16 was the largest point differential between these two teams since 2017, when the Rams won against the Seattle Seahawks 42-7, which was so much fun to watch. As a fan of the Rams, that's just a blast. And then the Rams do get some very big, important pieces back this week. Cooper Kupp is expected back. Michael Brockers is expected back. Jared Goff could come back. We'll see what happens. Nobody actually knows. I don't know if he knows. Maybe that's why Sean McVay is being a little coy about the quarterback starting situation. Maybe he just doesn't know. I don't know. All right, and the history of this matchup. The Seahawks do lead the all-time series 25-21. And this is the second playoff meeting between the two teams. We did talk about that a little earlier. There was a 27-20 win for the LA Rams. That game came on the 8th of January, of 2005. And the Rams, despite this most recent loss, have still won 4 of the last 6 against the Seattle Seahawks.